If your child's constantly distracted, they're forgetting things, they're always losing their stuff, then executive functioning is a big problem. The good news is there are things that you can be doing to support them. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 simple sensory strategies that are going to start building their focus and organization skills. I'm Lisa, a child behavior expert and a parent coach. I have over a decade of experience as a pediatric occupational therapist. I've worked with families with kids with ADHD and autism who struggle with their executive functioning skills. Through working with me, parents went from nagging constant reminders to finally seeing their children take initiative and start doing things independently. Right now, you might be noticing that your child is struggling to get through day-to-day tasks that seem so simple. They're constantly losing track of their belongings. Their backpacks are a complete mess. So when it's time to find a homework assignment, it's like digging through a trash can. They struggle to follow multi-step instructions. So when you tell them to do something, it seems like all of this just goes through one ear and out through the other and nothing gets done. Or you might notice that your child is getting stuck before they even get started. So when it's homework time, they are struggling to figure out how to get their homework started. Then they end up getting distracted. They get up from their seats. They start looking at the TV. Then they start to sneak around, try to get onto their iPad. They're doing everything possible to not get started. That ends up leaving parents feeling so frustrated. And if this is you, this is completely normal. But most parents, they start to escalate because obviously we want our kids to get their homeworks done. We need them to get through their day. So we start to nag and repeat ourselves to try to get them through it. But if this is happening day in, day out with your child, this is becoming problematic. What I see time and time again with families is that when your child struggles with executive functioning skills, you inevitably nag and you repeat yourself over and over again. And when you do that, it escalates your child. It often sends them into tantrums or meltdowns because they are starting to feel frustrated and annoyed. Then they start to say mean words to you. They might start saying, "Shut up," or "I hate you. Why do you always have to say this to me?" And it just starts to escalate and create a very tense dynamic in the household. What we also see with kids who struggle with executive functioning skills is they struggle to learn how to be independent. So parents end up doing a lot of the things for them because if they don't, they won't get through their day. So you might be finding that you're packing your child's bags for them. You're always packing their lunch. You're always remembering to bring the water bottle for them. You're always beside them when it's homework time. They're really relying on you, and it's making you worried that they're not going to be able to do anything independently, especially as they get into the higher grades or eventually they want to go into college and university. You're concerned that they're not going to be able to manage those things on their own. The truth of the matter is when we don't give our kids that executive functioning skill foundation to give them those strategies and tools that are going to help them when they're struggling with organization and planning, we see them grow up into young adults who struggle to get through school. They often drop out of school because they can't handle the pressure. They can't keep up with all the assignments. We also see that they struggle to hold down jobs because the amount of demands that are put on them is too much for what they can handle. They can't organize their work tasks. It ends up getting them a bad review from their boss, and a lot of them end up losing their jobs. So we want to prevent this from happening because we can provide our kids with the right tools and skills now to prepare them for their future. And the one thing that I really want to highlight to you parents, because I know that this can feel really overwhelming and also frightening to know that your child's struggling with this, but the truth is executive functioning skills actually develop over your child's childhood into adolescent years. So from 0 to 25, executive functioning skills are developing. When your child's born, they do not have any of these skills. As they go through life, as they learn more skills, they start to naturally develop executive functioning skills. However, with many of our kids who have autism or ADHD, these skills end up lagging behind their age range. So if your child, let's say, is 10, we know that executive functioning skills can be around the 7 to 8 year mark. So they're about 2 to 3 years behind. That doesn't mean that they can't catch up. All that means is that you need to start implementing strategies, tools, and scaffolding things for them so that they can start building the right skills. If you are noticing that your child is struggling with executive functioning skills and you want to know what you can do today to start helping them and have a personalized plan, I offer parent coaching where we dive into your child's specific needs. We figure out what executive functioning skills they are struggling with and how to actually start creating the right scaffolds, put in the right strategies that are going to support your child in building these skills. If you are ready to dive into parent coaching and you're ready to find the right tools and strategies for your child, you can find all the information in the description box. Now, before we get into these solutions, if you haven't already, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Let's get into the 5 powerful sensory strategies that are going to boost your child's executive functioning skills. The first is brain boosting movement breaks. This is where we start to incorporate a lot of movement into your child's day, and specifically in between tasks. So what we find a lot is when kids are expected to focus for very long periods of time, their batteries start to drain. So I want you to imagine this. Think of your child's battery as an old iPhone. That iPhone has a very weak battery versus the newest version of the iPhone that you charge it for a couple minutes and it's all the way to its top bar and it stays there for a very long time. Your child's bar decreases very quickly if there are a lot of cognitive demands put on them. When your child is doing their homework and there's just so many pieces of the assignment to do, it can feel very overwhelming, and that's going to just drain out their battery. So what we need to do is break things down into bite-sized pieces and insert movement breaks in between. So if, let's say, they have a math problem where there are 5 questions they're supposed to do, instead of getting them to sit and do all 5 of those questions at once, likely by the time they get to that second question, they're going to be burnt out, they're going to get distracted, they're going to get up from their seat, they're going to try to do everything they can to avoid that task. That what we want to do is implement movement breaks to proactively give them that sensory input that their bodies are needing. This is going to help refuel that battery. So this is what it would look like. You would break each of those math problems into separate sheets. You would hand them the first math problem and get them to work on that. Once they're done, they're going to have a 2 to 5 minute movement break where they can do a set of different exercises. They can do animal walks across the room. So they can pick if they want to do a bear walk, they're going to walk across the room. And, to add a lot of fun and flavor to this, you want to add different props and tools to make it interesting. You can get them to do a relay race from one side of the room to the next. So you're going to have balls on one side of the room. They're going to grab the ball, they're going to do bear walks across the room, then they're going to drop it off in a laundry basket, and they're going to do that back and forth 10, 20 times. And then once they're done that, they're going to feel so much better. I've had so many kids, after they do that, they are like back up, their energies are back up, their minds are focused, they come right back to their seat. Then they work on the second question. And you keep doing that, and you can change it up, because I know for a lot of our kids, they don't like doing the same thing. They like novelty. So change up the activity and have all of this stuff pre-planned. So you want to have the props already set up. You want to already tell them what the movement break activities can be in advance so that they can choose for themselves. So on the second round, maybe they want to hop like a frog, and then they want to still use the balls and transfer to the basket. If that gets boring, then you can change up what that prop is. You can use something like pom-pom balls, and you can get them to use a tong, pick up the pom-pom ball, hop across the room, and put it in a smaller basket or a bowl. These are really fun things, and we have to remember that kids thrive off of play and fun. So if we can incorporate some fun activities into something that is much harder for them, like homework time, this is going to help them feel more motivated and attend to that task that feels less preferred. Strategy number 2 is step-by-step visual guides. So using our visual sense helps us to process what it is we need to do, and it helps us stay more focused. So if your child is struggling to get through a routine, maybe it's their nighttime routine, and they're always distracted, they want to be on their phones, they want to, watch TV, they want to play on their iPad, whatever it is, it's pulling their attention away from the things they need to do, like brushing their teeth, getting into their pajamas, having their late night snack, whatever their routine is. We need to set that on a visual to help them keep track of all the to-dos. Because when we don't do that, what ends up happening is we start to nag. We say, come on, go brush your teeth. Did you brush your teeth yet? All right, can you go change into your pajamas now? Why are you doing this? Why are you going on your phone right now? And that back and forth banter that you're going to have with your child is going to burn you out. And this is what's causing you to feel really frustrated. And it's making your routines with your child really difficult. The more we can set up visuals, the more we can actually help them be more successful getting through them. So when we have it all set there, they're going to see exactly what are the expectations for them. They know that they have to get A, B, C, D tasks done. Now they can actually do the task, have that visual there to prompt them so that you don't have to keep reminding them and nagging at them. And this is going to support their own independence in getting through their routine all on their own. Now, for some of our kids, what really helps is also adding in some movement or some tactile activities into this. So along with that visual chart, you can have them either, if it's written on like a whiteboard, get them to use a whiteboard marker and check it off each time. That type of action can feel very gratifying. Just think about it for yourself when you have a to-do list and you get to check off everything. It just feels so good when those things are done. So we're also giving them that same feeling. For other kids, you can use stickers. So if you have it on a piece of paper, allowing them to peel the sticker and put it on their chart so that they know that they finished everything, that can also be a very gratifying and motivating way to help them to get through that routine all on their own. Sensory strategy number 3 is using noise canceling headphones to reduce distractions. If your child constantly gets distracted by things in their line of vision, if they have siblings and they're walking by, then they try to engage with them and that causes them to lose focus and want to move on to do something else. Or maybe there is a lot of noise in your home because you just have lots of kids, lots of things going on. You got a dog, you got a bird chirping, whatever, you got all these pets. You want to help reduce the distraction for them. So teaching them to use noise canceling headphones that they can put over their ears. They also have noise canceling headbuds that are more discreet. They just fit right in the ear like regular earphones. And getting them to use that can help them to block out all of the noise and help them to focus. You're taking away that auditory processing that is distracting them and helping them to focus their attention visually onto the work that's in front of them. Strategy number 4 is hands-on tools to help them stay on track. So one of the most useful tools that I teach all of my parents is to use little wristbands. So you can just buy them from your local dollar store, or you can find colorful rubber bands and you put them around your child's wrist. And every one of those colors represents a task to do. So if, let's say, they have chores that they're supposed to do, and those chores are to put the dishes away in the dishwasher, it's to make sure that they've put their dirty clothes in the hamper, it's to wipe down the kitchen table, whatever it is, each of those bands represent that. And you can have a color code visual somewhere on the board so they remember what each of them mean. Now, over time, they're going to remember what each of those bands stand for. So whenever they're done, they're going to remove the band and they can put it on their other wrist, or they can give it to you. That way it's an actual visual reminder of all the tasks that they have to do, and it's all right on their wrist. It's right with them. Another tool is to use sticky notes. That is a really great tool. Have a wall dedicated to their to-dos. And on each of the sticky notes, there is something that they need to finish. Like I said, the chores, that chore list, you have it all written down. So whenever they're done one, they take that sticky note, they crumple it up, and they get to toss it into a basket. Again, adding sensory activities, that's a vestibular activity that helps to boost their minds. It helps them to feel good when they get to move their bodies. This is going to help to refuel that battery that we were talking about to help them stay on task and stay organized. Strategy number 5 is to talk through the task to help them stay organized. So this is utilizing their verbal skills, their voice, to help them keep track and stay organized on the task. When we talk things out, it actually helps us to process what we're doing much better. So if they need to pack their bags in the morning, and there's lots of things, your kids are maybe in elementary, middle school, high school, and they have a lot of stuff to put in their backpacks. They got to remember their textbooks. They have to remember their pencil case, their water bottle, their lunch. Getting them to verbalize all the different things in a list can help them to build that skill set of remembering what they need to bring each time. All 5 of these sensory strategies to help them with focus and organization is stuff that they're going to take with them through their lifespan. Because in life, they're always going to need to have different tools and strategies to remember things, to help them stay on task. So if you can build these systems and strategies right now, they are going to utilize them and remember them when they are off on their own in the world independently. So things like verbalizing your tasks, that is something that we might even be using as adults. I use this strategy all the time when I have so many things to do. In the morning, I wake up and I actually go through a checklist in my head. I say it out loud so I know all the things that have to be done by the end of the day. We are teaching this exact same skill for a child, but in a way that is more simplified, and it's on a task that is hard for them right now, like packing their bags. These are just a few of the sensory strategies that I've shared on this very short YouTube video. And there are way more sensory strategies that could be more applicable for your child. Because remember, not every child is going to thrive off of one particular sensory strategy. Everything is unique to your child, and we have to know what it is that they're struggling with. How does their brains and body work? What actually works for their sensory profile? All of these things matter in terms of building the right tools to build their executive functioning skills. In order to find the right strategies and tools for your child, you need to have a very specific outline for what is going to work. And that is only going to be determined by having a personalized coach who can actually assess you and your child's situation. So if you are looking for that type of support, I offer parent coaching where we get into the nitty-gritties of what is happening in your day-to-day, what exactly is your child struggling with when it comes to executive functioning skills, and how to actually support them based off of their own needs. If you are ready to find these answers and start implementing this change in your life and your child's life, you can find all the information about my parent coaching in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found these tips helpful. Let me know in the comment section which one of these tips you have tried or are going to try, and also let me know how they go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.